What's going on, guys? My name is Heath Shankles, and first of all, thank you for clicking on this video, okay? If you're new to my channel, Freedom Marketer, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I do daily videos on this channel as of right now, and I'm trying to make as great of content as I can for you guys to help you on your journey as just a person and as an entrepreneur. And if you work a 9-to-5 regular job, then I'm trying to make it to where I can help you leave that job, like where you don't have to do that anymore, and you can do the things that you really love for the rest of your days. And I used to work a regular job, and now I'm an entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur for quite a few years now, and it's been the greatest blessing for me that I've ever got to take part of, and I just want to help other people be able to do the same. Okay, so the name of this video is Train Your Brain to Make Money, okay, and achieve your goals. And what I have right here in my hand is a book, okay, and obviously, and so I don't know if you can see this, and I don't know if you've read this book or not, or you've probably heard of it at least if you've not read it. The name of this book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, okay, and normally I don't do videos like this. Like, I'm doing a little bit different of a format this time than I normally do. And that's because for this topic, I think that we kind of have to take a different look at this, because this is key. This is crucial in your success. And I know this because it's been crucial in my success. If I didn't study this topic, if I didn't know it inside and out, if I didn't believe in it, then I wouldn't have the success that I've had up to this point. There's no way. So, with that being said, what I want to do is give you guys, sum up a few examples out of this book that happened in real life, and see if they don't help translate into your life now and in current times, and see if they can't help you understand the power of thinking big and using your brain to turn it into money, okay? To where everything you touch turns into money. Because it really does come from the mind, it comes from the heart. Okay, the first thing that I want to go over is a man named Edwin C. Barnes, and I don't know if you've heard of this guy or not. If you've seen Edwin C. Barnes, according to history and according to this book also, if you've seen him in person, he just looked like a hobo. Like, he dressed like a hobo, like a homeless person. And it's because he didn't have much. He was just in poverty, like a lot of people. And he had this great ambition that he wanted to accomplish, this great dream, this great goal, okay? And his dream and goal was to go and not only work with, but become a business partner with a man named Thomas Edison. You may have heard of it, right? And you may not have heard of Edwin C. Barnes, but I'm sure you've heard of Thomas Edison, right? So, but that was his dream. And Thomas Edison, was a great inventor back in the day. And for Edwin C. Barnes, like, it was his passion, his dream to go and become a business partner with him. Like, not just work for him, but become an actual partner with him, helping him invent stuff, and them taking a product and turning it into, a multi-million-dollar business venture, right? That's what he wanted to do. It was his dream. Keep in mind, this guy was like homeless. He looked like a hobo, he dressed like a hobo, and when people seen him, they said, there's a hobo, right? But he still had this dream, he had this burning desire. So what he'd done, he didn't have any money, he didn't have a car, he didn't have anything, and Thomas Edison was on the other side of the country. So for Barnes, he was thinking, okay, I've got to get to Thomas Edison. How do I get to Thomas Edison? Let me tell you what this guy did to start with, okay? And all this is in this book, but he got on a cargo train, which, it's just hauling freight. A train, with no people on it other than the conductor, maybe a few employees, and just hauling freight, whatever. Just products, carrying it to the city where Thomas Edison was going to be. And he jumps on a cart, I don't know if it's an empty cart or whatever, but he jumps on that train, and that's how he gets to the city where Thomas Edison is, okay? And he finally, comes up to Thomas Edison, and for the first time in his life actually sees him in person. And he, makes his introduction to him, tells him, and according to the book, and legend, he had that look on his face that I'm coming to work for you. Like, there is no going back. I don't have money. I didn't have money to get here. I don't have money to get back. I don't have a change of clothes. I don't have anything. I am going to work for you and work with you, And evidently Thomas Edison seen that, so he puts the guy to work right away. You know what I mean? He didn't turn him down. And, right away you've seen something there that means everything. And I want this to be able to translate into your life. I want this to be able to help you, okay? He did not think about anything else. He had a tunnel vision towards his goal, and his dream. That ambition was burning inside him to the point where he burned the bridges behind him. There was no going back. And if you'll notice, a lot of people that become really successful, there are the people who are billionaires' children, millionaires' children, and great successful business owner children, whatever, born silver spoon, in hand. But a lot of people who become successful also didn't have a dime to their name, didn't have any support, didn't have anything. And, it's just, they get it in their mind that they want more and that they want to do something. And when you're put in a position of, it's either, succeed or be miserable the rest of your life, that's where a lot of times you're going to see greatness come out in not only you, but any other person. Like, I know for me, personally, I didn't have really an option in my mind. And when you go and do something and you burn the bridges to where there's no turning back, there's no going back. As Tony Robbins has said, burn the boat and you'll take the island. And what that means is, if you take a boat to an island and you've got to win a war on that island between the people, you and the people that are on the island, because you want the island, if you burn the boat, there's no going back. So that leaves you with the people and the war on the island, which means you're going to have to win the war so that you can have the island. And then you can build all the boats you want, go wherever you want to go, right? That's what I'm saying by burning the bridge, burning the boat. And that's what Barnes did in this book, in the story. And this actually happened. So he had no return, right? Let me just read to you, now that you've got that little story there that I tried to sum up quickly. Sorry if this is taking too long, but hang with me, guys. This is good stuff. Psychologists have correctly said, when one is truly ready for a thing, it puts in its appearance. Barnes was ready for a business association with Edison. Moreover, he was determined to remain ready until he got that which he was seeking. He did not say to himself, well, what's the use? I guess I'll change my mind and try for a salesman job. But he did say, I came here to go into business with Edison, and I'll accomplish this end if it takes the remainder of my life. He meant it. What a different story people would have to tell if only they would adopt a definite purpose and stand by that purpose until it had time to become an all-consuming obsession. What a statement that is. What a statement. An all-consuming obsession. I hear people talk about becoming successful. I hear people say they want to be successful, and I believe that people do want to be successful, and I believe that they do want to make a lot of money. And I believe that there's people that want to be famous, and there's people that want to do this and want to do that. But what you'll see if you were to read this book, and what I'm going to sum up here for you out of this book, is the fact remains that the people who actually make it, the people who actually become successful, are the people who become obsessed with their craft. They become obsessed with their dream. They become just tunnel vision towards that goal, whatever that desire is. There is a burning fire inside them that cannot be put out, and they're willing to risk everything they have. They're willing to put it all up. They're willing to lose everything. I can tell you a story about a man named, you probably heard of him, Steve Harvey. And I don't know if you're familiar with his background and all that. Okay, he has a video called Jump that is just amazing, talking about making the jump in your life from your 9-to-5 job to, running a business, becoming an entrepreneur, and chasing your gift. The man that you know now as Steve Harvey wasn't he's not the man that he was years ago. Okay, dude was literally just raised, grew up on the streets, household with a bunch of people in it. And let me tell you what he done. He had a good job, and he quit that job because he won $50 at a comedy nightclub. He went in and did a little comedy thing. Didn't even really want to do it. One of the contestants was out. They called Steve Harvey up, and so he does the comedy. He wins a clap off that night. He wins $50, cries all the way home. The girl that's riding with him says, why are you crying? It's just $50. And he says, it's not just $50. I've discovered my passion. I know what I'm going to do the rest of my life. He goes in, quits his job next day, and started chasing that dream from then on. Okay, but it wasn't just happily ever after to begin with. He had to live in his car for 3 years while chasing his dream. Steve Harvey lived in his car for 3 years. In his car. No shower, no bathtub, no TV, no phone, no remote control, no place to wash your hands or just use the bathroom, no place to shower, no place to really change clothes, no place to even lay down comfortably. 3 years. 3 years, guys. We hear these stories and we don't think about the reality of how tough it is. But if you have that passion, if you have that desire, and you're able to get tunnel vision toward it, all I'm saying is those are the people who make it. Those are the people who become successful. So Steve, he made it, and he has a great and awesome career now, right? And something I haven't mentioned, when he was living in his car for that 3 years, what do you think that done for his family, back home? He lost them. I mean, he didn't lose his mother and father because of it, but he had a wife at the time, and he had kids also. He had little twins, and yeah, he went through a divorce over that. He lost his wife over that, and as he said, lost his kids. I'm sure she was pretty bitter about all that, and her and everyone else, and he was having to send what little money he was making on the road doing little shows that he could scramble together. He was having to send what little money he would make back home, and to where he would live off about $25 a week according to him. And he still got a divorce. He had to go through all that. Once again, he lost everything trying to gain everything. He gave all that up. And I'm not sitting here saying that he didn't love his family or anything like that. I know he did. But the fact is, he was willing to let it happen. He could have went home at any time. He talks over and over about how his family would say, Steve, just come home. Come home, man. Give this up. Just come home. I appreciate you having this dream and this goal. I appreciate the fact that you're so ambitious and that you're willing to do all this, but dude, it ain't never gonna work, man. It would be better, and it would be better on you and on your family if you would just come home and work that job. And see, that's what everyone says. Our closest family members, our closest friends, that's what they tell us all. Believe me, that's what my family told me. Believe me, that's what all my friends told me was, why can't you just keep working your job? Why? This stuff's all just a myth. It's all just a dream. Here's the problem. We're all raised in an education system in schools, and I don't care what part of the country you're from or world. Especially in the United States, I can speak for us here in the United States. We have an education system that is taught, we're taught to become employees, not employers. We are taught to follow every single rule, raise our hand to speak, raise our hand to go use the restroom, raise our hand to do anything, ask for permission, be here exactly at this time, leave at exactly this time, change classes at exactly this time, study the books, be able to take what's in the book and put it back on a piece of paper for a standardized test, A, B, C, D choice, and that's it, and they're getting us ready. You grow a hog or a pig back in the day on the farm, as big and as fat as you can, for slaughter so that it produces enough meat. And same with cattle today, same with chickens today. All these farmers know this. That's the way the schools prepared each and every one of us for the real world after graduation. It prepared us for just going and working for someone else. And they were just mentally getting your mind ready for that. It's called brainwashing, pretty much. They were getting you ready to go work a job. And here's what a job is. And if you're watching this, you've probably worked one, you probably know. But what you're doing, in short, is you are working your butt off many, many hours, sacrificing a whole lot of time and the opportunity to make more money, working to build someone else's dream. Because believe me, the person who is running the company that you're working for, if you're working a job right now, or if you worked before, you're working for someone else's dream. That person is chasing their ambition. They're chasing their big goals. They're planning on achieving those goals. And they're gonna use your butt to make it happen. All because you're making a choice to go there. And we all have to work, sometimes in order to get by. But you don't have to. Working a job for the rest of your life is a choice. Being an employee the rest of your life is a choice. And if you're happy with that, then that's fine. That's fine. And this video may not be for you. But for me and for a lot of other people that, have the same mindset as me, I think we can all agree that we want something more than just a regular job, and that we want to chase our goals, our dreams, our ambitions. And we want people to work for us, possibly, instead of the other way around. And not everyone's like that. But for me, I feel like I have a God-given gift and a right to chase whatever it is I want to chase, because I feel like God planted it in my mind, in my imagination, to go and do it, And I just feel like you don't have to stick with that life if you don't want to. You just don't. I built my first business that's had success by doing it on the side to begin with. I worked my job and I started working on my business on the side to begin with, and I've watched millions of other people do the same thing. So I know that it can be you. I know that you can do the same exact thing. And like I say, the name of this book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and the name of this video is, taking your brain and turning it into money to, using your brain to turn it into money and achieve your goals, right? So I'm giving you examples of how this has worked, okay? Hang in here with me, and I'm going to show you another example that is in this book, okay? You may have heard of this guy right here, possibly, if you live in today's world and you're not under a rock. You ever heard of Henry Ford? Created the first car? Yeah, that guy. He had a long journey as well, okay? And here is the story summed up here. I've got it outlined for you on how this happened with the first car, okay? Let me tell you what happened. Henry Ford wanted to create an 8-cylinder motor, okay? A V8. And when they put it on paper, it was like impossible, right? I'll just read from from the book right here to show you word for word how this is laid out. When Ford decided to produce his now famous V8 motor, he chose to build an engine with the entire 8 cylinders cast in one block, and instructed his engineers to produce a design for the engine. The design was placed on paper, but the engineers believed it was simply impossible to cast an 8-cylinder gas engine block in one piece. Ford said, "Produce it anyway," but they replied, "It's impossible." "Go ahead," Ford commanded, "and stay on the job until you succeed, no matter how much time is required." The engineers went ahead. There was no other option if they were to remain on the Ford staff. 6 months went by and nothing happened. Another 6 months passed and still nothing happened. The engineers tried every conceivable plan to carry out the orders, but the thing seemed out of the question, impossible. At the end of the year, Ford checked with his engineers, and again they informed him they had found no way to carry out his orders. This is where most people definitely would have scrapped the entire idea, threw it away. 6 months passed, then another 6 months, and then another 6 months, and still, so that's a year and a half right there. Nothing's happened. Whenever they already told him it was impossible. His engineers told him it was impossible. Really, really smart people who do this stuff for a living telling him it is impossible. Impossible means it is not possible to happen. It cannot happen. It cannot be done. There's no way. Ford told him, go right ahead. I want it and I'll have it. They went ahead. And then, as if by a stroke of magic, the secret was discovered. The Ford determination had won once more. They figured it out. They figured it out. But you can give some credit to those engineers, but the real credit goes to Henry Ford, and that's why his name is known right now. That's the reason why you know who he is or have at least heard of him. That's why. Because his determination, his tunnel vision, his never giving up, his I'm going to have this. I don't care if it happens the day that I'm on my deathbed. I'm going to have it. I don't care if it takes my entire life. I don't care. I don't care. You take away all the excuses. Whatever excuses you have in your life, take them away and take full responsibility for everything that you do. And get tunnel vision. Imagine your goal. That's what I want you to do right now is imagine your goal. Imagine your dream. What is it that's on your mind? You personally, just you. What is it that you're after? What is it that when you lay in the bed at night, your head hits the pillow, you start thinking about this thing? Or when you're asleep, you're dreaming about it. You wake up, what is it, whether you've told other people about it or not, but this is your burning desire. You've just got a passion to have it. If you do what Henry Ford did, if you do what the other man in this story I told you about, Barnes, if you do what he did, he went on to produce, the Barnes guy went on to produce a product, and him and Edison came out with that product, launched it, and made millions and millions of dollars, just like he wanted to do. Like I said, he went and started off by just sweeping floors and doing, taking out the trash, grab this, hold the light, whatever the case was for Thomas Edison. But his goal, his dream was to be a business partner with him. He made it happen. Henry Ford made it happen. There's many other stories in this book about people making it happen. I have already accomplished part of my goals and my dreams in my life. Not all of them. I still have many, many goals and big dreams, but that's because I dream huge. And some of these things, take time. Well, I still never would have thought at the age that I am now, in the position I'm in right now, I didn't think I would be here. And I guess I did, but I didn't. I knew that it was a daunting task. But what I learned was whenever I put my mind to it, and I know that Henry Ford and the Barnes guy and many, many other successful people have found it out. The name of this book is Think and Grow Rich, and it talks in the first chapter about a secret that you may figure it out in chapter 1, you may figure it out in the last chapter or on the last page of the book, but the secret remains the same. That secret is in here and in here. It's not in your wallet. It's not in your family members. It's not in your brothers, sisters, or mama or daddy. It is in no one else but inside you. You already have it. You have it inside you. You are born with it. You have to want it. You have to need it. You have to have it. Attitude. When you develop that attitude, when you develop that mindset, whatever it is you're after, I am not selling you fairy tale dreams right here. Whatever it is you're after, you will have it. The moment you start living like you already have it, because it's already yours. It's already yours. It would not have been placed in your mind and your imagination if it weren't. It's just that some people don't go after what's placed in their mind, in their imagination. They keep looking at it as a fairy tale and as a dream, and they leave it like that, and they settle. Millions and millions of people settle. 75% of the country is unhappy with their job. They hate what they do on a daily basis. 75%, which leaves only 25% who are happy, or they claim they're happy doing what they do. In the freest country in the world, the richest country in the world, only 25%, enjoy what they do. That's an insane statistic. This is a free market, free enterprise country. We all have the right to go and start whatever business we want to start. We all have the right to choose whether to run a business or be an employee. If you want to be an employee, that is perfectly fine. I am not against anyone that works a job. I've worked plenty of them myself. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get by. But I always looked at whenever I was working a job as getting by. That's all it was. I never looked at working a job as, and I've had some high paying jobs. I worked in the oil industry at one time, and I was a welder at one time. I never looked at it as I'm doing this long term. And I know I pissed a lot of people off. I know that I made a lot of people mad that I worked around because I was always talking about doing something different outside of work. And a lot of people just wanted me to just focus on my work. But the thing was, is a lot of times I was doing the work so easily, I was bored with it. It wasn't testing me, it wasn't pushing me, it wasn't letting me use my creative mind, it wasn't allowing me to get to this part of me right here. The part that you're hearing from me now, this is the part that I wanted to give to the world and show to the world and act on and do on a daily basis and love it, because I love what I'm doing right now. I love connecting with you guys. I love helping other people and teaching people and helping them change their mindset, because I know about feeling like you're cursed and everything is just, the way it is, because the government kind of controls us and they brainwash us to get us to the point, where we get, right? Stop settling. I guess this video is for people who are settling. You don't have to be that way. You don't have to just settle and accept. That's a decision that you're accepting. That's who you are. That's who you're going to be. It does not matter where you're at right now in your life. I do not care if you're a teenager. I don't care if you're in your young 20s, mid, older 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I don't care. Colonel Sanders started Kentucky Fried Chicken when he was in his 60s. Became like a billionaire. I don't know. Millions and millions and millions. I don't know if he's a billionaire or not, whatever. Man's gone now. But started it in his 60s. Age doesn't matter. Color doesn't matter. So many people make so much stuff about color and race and where you're from, how old you are, where'd you go to college, do you have a degree, do you have a diploma, do you have this, do you have that? Man, I applaud you for having a degree if you went to college, but all in reality, when it comes to chasing dreams, giant goals, they seem giant. That's, a degree is just a piece of paper. That piece of paper is not going to walk the walk for you. That piece of paper is not going to do the work for you. It's not going to be the determining factor. It's not going to decide whether you make it or you fail. You are the star in your own movie. You're it. You're the writer, you're the director, you're the producer, and you are the Brad Pitt, the Tom Hanks of your movie. You're it. Why don't you go to the show? Why don't you be the star in your movie? Why don't you be that instead of being an extra on the set for just a few minutes and nobody ever knows their name and whatever. I guess all I'm saying is don't be average. Don't be average if you don't want to be. If you want to be average, then do that. But for the people I'm talking to that don't want to be, then don't be. Do not settle. Guys, the reason this book right here was written, the reason I'm making this video, the reason The Power of Thinking Big, all of these different books, and the Bible also mentions, like, all of these things is in the Bible, believe it or not, it is. It's just in terms that you may not understand as well, or you may not have actually read it or listened, whatever. These things are written in order to teach you. This is someone giving back to you. This is someone giving back to the world. This video is me giving back to you guys. Trying to give you the help, the information. Information is power. Knowledge is. Wisdom is. If you will take this stuff and apply it in your life, you will see what I'm talking about. And then one day you'll come to me and be like, Heath, I watched a video of yours X amount of days, months, years ago, and I went and I may have struggled at first, but then eventually I got it. Eventually I made it happen, and hopefully you'll be able to tell me thank you for opening your eyes if you've not been able to see this yet, okay? Because the secret that he talks about in this book the entire time, it's not really a secret. It's just like having a key to your brain, and a lot of people, their brain is locked. And what this book does, and what this video I hope does, is gives you the key to unlock your brain. Take the lid off of your jar and realize that you can go as far as you want to go. It is not just motivational talk, okay? I've never claimed to be some giant guru or anything like that, but I know what I know, and this is something that I do know because I've applied it to my life. I've applied it to my life. And all the people that I went to high school with, went to college with, and all this and that, guys, I have moved along faster than people who graduated with a lot better grades than I had. I have moved along so much faster than a lot of people, and it had to do with my mindset versus their mindset. I never settled. I done what I had to do to get by, but I always was dreaming big. I was always thinking big. Grant Cardone has a whole company built around the 10X mindset. 10X your thinking. I think he wrote a book called 10X your thinking. Same thing as this. 10X everything. So whatever you think about yourself, your goals, your dreams, or your money, like if you think about money, like, well, I'd like to have $1 million. Why don't you 10X that? Why not think about 10 million? Why not think about 10 times whatever it is you're thinking about doing? Why don't you 10X it and then look at your actions that you're taking, the efforts that you're putting in, and 10X those also. What kind of efforts are you taking on a daily basis? Because I don't know if you noticed or not, but there was a mention in here about all this time that passed, like with Henry Ford and with the whole Thomas Edison story. There was time that passed through this thing where there was a lot of hard work going on. And that's something that a lot of people, a lot of motivational speakers, just a lot of these gurus out here, a lot of whoever, people who are supposedly, giving advice, they don't put the emphasis on the work. Like, no one said it was going to be easy. I didn't sit right here and tell you, well, it's going to be so easy. Like, if you just think big, if you just dream big, if you have positive thinking, if this, that, and other, if you read this book, you're going to just go and be rich. Like, well, you can, but you are going to have to put in the work. But to me, and this is what separates people from other people, okay? To me, it's worth it. To me, it's worth the work to go and achieve my biggest dreams and biggest goals. Like, I don't want to live my life if I have to be average. I just don't. I really don't. I want to live in my dream. I want my life to be a movie, per se, okay? And I'm willing to sacrifice the time, effort, money, whatever it takes, and the hard work, just the pure sweat equity, and the, exhausting my mind, doing whatever it takes in order to get there. Are you willing to do that? Okay? If you're not, maybe you need to realize that, and then just go and try to move up at your job and just move up that corporate ladder if you want to. That's a choice you have to make. When we get right down to it, which is what we're at right now in this video, we're getting right down to the nitty gritty of what matters. What actions are you taking on a daily basis to move towards your goal? Are you taking any actions? If you've never tried to start a business for one, but you've always dreamed of being able to quit your job and telling your boss to screw off, well, how do you know you couldn't be extremely successful if you've never even tried? And I've talked to millions of people, and that is what they have told me. They have always been scared to try. People are so scared because they've been taught by their loved ones, by the school system, that they are made to do whatever it is they're doing right now. their father or mother worked in that plant or that mill or worked for that company or done that career their whole lives, and so that's what they're supposed to do, and that they're successful. You've got to take a chance on yourself. If you're thinking about it, if you're dreaming about it, turn it into reality. Go try. Please, I'm begging you to not keep doing what you're doing. Go after it. Jump off the ledge. You have a parachute. You have a parachute. Okay? It is one little baby step at a time. It is one little thing by, inch by inch, anything's a cinch. Like if you will just take the little small steps and then progress over time. Make sure you're progressing every day. You're learning something new every day about whatever business it is you're involved in. They say that 10,000 hours in any subject, you're an expert in that subject. Go get it, guys. Go get it. I really hope that you guys have got some value out of this. I hate to sound like I'm preaching or like a broken record or whatever, or if this video is way too long. I told you at the beginning of this video, this is a extremely important subject and topic, and it is. And because it all starts with the mindset. You'll see in the comments of videos, people will be like, more motivational bullcrap, more blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like they think it's a myth, and there's something wrong with their mindset. It's their attitude. It's a bad attitude, because if you don't have the right mindset, you will not become a millionaire. That's just it. If you have the wrong mindset, you will not make anything other than what you're making right now. Like you won't even move up at your job if you have the wrong mindset. You have to have the right mindset. And to grow rich, to grow wealthy, when you're coming from nothing or from very little, you're going to have to change your mindset. You have got to snap out of the broke mentality. Okay? You got to become your own empire. And that's the only way you're going to do it. Growing rich is very, very accomplishable, but it is a lot of hard work. And the main thing is having that tunnel vision towards it, to where you're willing to burn the boat, burn the bridges to achieve it. Are you willing to pay the price to be the boss? That's what it boils down to. Guys, I hope this helped you. I really do. And if you have watched this video all the way to the end, thank you for that. I super appreciate it. I really do. And I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I make daily videos right now. And like I say, I put a lot of research and a lot of hard work into these videos to try to get people to understand who they are, where they're going, and if someone is an entrepreneur, get that business to the next level. And if someone is still working a regular job, I want them to be able to leave that job and go and start the business of their dreams, or at least be able to start a business, even if they don't quite love it, at least start a business to where they can leave their job, for now, and then maybe after that be able to then go and start the business of their dreams that they're absolutely, very, very passionate about. The main thing is just getting people closer to that goal every day. We all have 24 hours a day. We all have our goals and dreams. Let's just go get them. We got one day at a time, no matter what. So let's go after them one day at a time then. That's what we're dealt with. So let's take it that way. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the little bell icon. You'll get notified of every single video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.